You ready to go here?
Yeah, we should mention that when we get to the end of our event, we'll have to clear out of here quickly. So there'll just be a puff of smoke and we'll vanish. But we'll see you outside.
And then the auditorium will fill with nuns.
Okay, right?
Yeah.
Now, don't worry. Let me work in this case for 24 hours, and then we'll call in somebody else. You think it's a mystery now? Well, you'll see it tomorrow. Remember the Charlie Ross disappearance? I worked in that case for 24 hours, and they never did find him. They couldn't find me for 5 years.
It's the Marx Brothers Council Podcast.
Episode 92, NY a Duck.
Welcome, Marx Maniacs. My name is Noah Diamond. I am here, as always, but also as never before, with my co-host, Mr. Matthew Conium.
Thank you for having me.
Not to mention our indefatigable producer, Mr. Bob Gassell.
I haven't spoken to these many people since my bar mitzvah. So.
Today he is a man, folks.
But only today.
Well, we are very happy to be here. As you know, the big occasion is that Matthew Conium has crossed the Atlantic Ocean to be with us. Very glad Matthew's here. Very glad you are all here to join us for the first ever live Marx Brothers Council podcast event. As many of you will know, we attempted to do this in 2020, but as is so often the case, we were derailed by a global pandemic. We want to thank Matthew for not doing that to us this time.
Yeah, sorry about that.
But you almost had COVID the other day.
Yeah, I am just getting over something, and it would have been the only thing more poetic than getting COVID this week would have been if Bob and I decided to go to England. Well, we don't have much time, so we want to get right to it. I thought maybe a good way to get this started would be to talk about some of the ideas we abandoned. It took us a while to figure out what should be the theme of our first ever live podcast event. We thought of many possibilities. For example, the Marx Brothers Council Podcast, episode 92, 12 Blind Loves.
Or episode 92, Make Fredonia Great Again.
Or episode 92, No Starch Please, our deep dive into Groucho's laundry lists.
How about episode 92, a 3-hour discussion of the use of the word grouching in Finnegan's Wake.
Or episode 92, the Night at the Opera manicurist identified as a suspect in the Jimmy Hoffa disappearance.
Or episode 92, Full of Roaches or Not. We go to Nacogdoches and interview pest control.
Episode 92, Braised Eyebrows.
Or episode 92, how many prints of Go West can you destroy in a bathtub?
Or episode 92, Ruth versus Eden. Which of Groucho's wives would win in a fight?
I think we all know the answer to that one. Well, what we thought maybe would be a better way to start would be to just discuss the Marx Brothers a little bit. Are you guys interested in the Marx Brothers at all?
Yeah, that'll do.
Well, the last Marx Brothers movie I saw was Horse Feathers. Any fresh thoughts about Horse Feathers?
No. Shall I start?
Please do.
Right, five very small observations literally made while watching it, which will get progressively less interesting as they go along. Firstly, cut the cards.
Yeah.
He really does that, doesn't he? The guy very, very brazenly puts a solid pack of cards down.
I observed that too. The one thing I thought is maybe the cards were perforated in advance.
Perforated cards. Yeah.
The gag is, like many gags in Horse Feathers, originally from a show called I'll Say She Is, and it's possible that it was done on stage every night, which seems like it would have needed some kind of foolproof mechanism.
Yeah. Secondly, when Groucho sings and he goes, I always thought that was his cigar, but it isn't, is it?
No, it's a pitch pipe.
Yeah, and he's holding the cigar, and he takes it in and out of his pocket. Because first I thought, he's put a lit cigar in his pocket. And I was very worried for him. But then I realised...
It wasn't a cigar, it was a pipe.
Nearly there, we're on to number 3 now, 3 of 5. A shovel, an axe, and a pick. Why do they need a shovel and an axe and a pick to kidnap two people?
Oh, that's a great question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The lecture that the professor is giving, he very grandiloquently says, "Here is the liver," and turns around and draws the crappiest liver.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would think during Prohibition, livers would have looked a lot better than that.
That's right, yeah. And very lastly, and I know we have touched on this before, but it is worth bearing in mind again. This guy Jennings.
Oh, yeah.
So Huxley haven't won a game for, what is it, 50 years?
Yeah.
Right. So A, what odds is he getting?
Right.
And B, does he really need two ringers? And C, it's the only year that they do win. So what a sap that guy is. That's me.
Well, should we think about introducing our first guest?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I was just talking about this location, the Museum of the Moving Image here in Astoria. One friend of the show, also a past podcast guest, had everything to do with bringing us to this great venue today. We'd like to bring him up and speak to him. He is the president of the Jim Henson Legacy. Our friend and yours, please welcome Craig Shemin. How do you like the game, Doc?
Hello.
So, Craig, tell us a little bit about the building we are in right now.
We are in, like you said, this used to be part of the museum, part of the Astoria studios. It was parceled out in the early 1970s to become a museum. It took a while. The museum itself opened in 1988. But the whole complex, the Astoria Studios, was originally constructed in 1920. It was part of famous players Lasky, which then eventually became Paramount. Mm-hmm. And it was a studio here for Paramount until they moved all of their productions to Hollywood in 1932. And then it was used as an independent facility. And in 1942, it became an Army facility making movies for military. Hmm. And that happened, that continued on to the early 70s.
So where exactly was Rittenhouse Manor? I mean, how far are we actually from that little staircase?
You're actually not very far at all. I'd say probably about 50 feet as the crow flies.
We wanted to mention some podcast guests who are with us today, people who have appeared on the Marx Brothers Council podcast in the past, and we're very happy to be in the same room with you too. Should we do this together? Well, I'd like to just start going through the list, and I hope I'm not forgetting anybody. Marx Brothers Council podcast guests, and it's quite a list at this point. Let's start with Mr. Trav S.D. sitting in the second row. A friend, a hero, a mensch, an artist, and a multiple times recurring Marx Brothers Council podcast guest.
No, you're good at this.
Cinco Paul, who surely needs no introduction, which is just as well because I didn't give him one.
And we'll give him another one in just a little while. Cinco Paul, also a two-time guest on the Marx Brothers Council podcast. The aforementioned Kathy Beal, sitting in the front row. An important part of just about every Marx Brothers thing that's happened in the last 20 years.
Brett Leveridge, who we've already mentioned.
Yes.
Whose name rhymes with beverage. I've only just realised that. Could put you in a song lyric. Your name rhymes with beverage. Never struck me before. Yeah.
Beverage is a contraction for Brett Leveridge. And just our most recent guest, other than Craig, who was our guest just moments ago on episode 91, was Meg Farrell, sitting in the second row. Ethnomusicologist and the great-granddaughter of the great Will B. Johnstone. Meg Farrell. Who's next on the list?
Heidi
Heidi Ho? Heidi
Gazelle?
Heidi Gassell.
If you're a regular listener to the podcast, and of course you are,
Why else would you still be here?
you will probably know Heidi Gassell's voice, even if you don't know you know Heidi Gassell's voice, because she reads out our end credits.
I'll say she does. Mr. Pat McCahey is in the room somewhere. Pat has been on the show. Valued enormously to us, not only as a friend, but as a researcher who has helped us with numerous projects, including, in Matthew's case, some non-Marx Brothers projects.
Yeah.
Matthew, what is a non-Marx Brothers project?
Well, it's basically, I've no idea.
Yeah.
No, I wrote a book about Dr. Crippen, the celebrated British murder case. Always good for a laugh. And he helped tremendously with that. And at the moment, I'm writing a book about another celebrated British murder case, the Lord Lucan mystery. And I can't tell you how useful he's being on that, too. So wherever he is, and I can't... there he is.
There he
He is truly the most amazing researcher a boy could wish for.
And he's been incredibly helpful to me in not finding the manicurist.
And we wish many long years of not knowing who the manicurist is. And unless I'm committing the crime of forgetting or not being aware of somebody, I think the one more podcast guest in the room is Mr. Tom Rocks. Tom is here.
Oh, Tom. Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Tom has gotten closer than any of us to seeing the more complete print of A Night at the Opera that exists in Hungary. Is that right, Hungary?
Hungry, yeah.
I thought so. Well, thanks to all our guests. We could mention some of our guests who aren't here, but we haven't got time. You guys ready to field some questions?
Absolutely.
Keep it clean.
Hi, so I'm Mark from New Jersey, and I kind of agree with Bob about that scene with the sofa takes you out of the movie a little bit, although I'm sure we can all agree it's that they've cleaned up the frames that still exist, because I don't know if you guys remember when they used to show it, that it was completely unwatchable. But watching it now, it made me wonder, I mean, obviously it was the result of cuts that were made when the film was re-released, correct?
That's
so
our best
I was
guess,
just
yeah.
curious, is this what was shown? I mean, is this, or did they just cut the whole scene out? I wonder if you guys could speak to,
I think
if I went to the re-release, what would I have seen at that point?
There's still no certain agreement as to exactly what you're looking at there. There may be some censorship cuts in it, but obviously those really crude jumps and half sentences and things are not censorship. They are damage to the materials. So I presume.
Well, there's one line where Thelma Todd says, "Well, you overcome me," and Chico, I believe in the original, his response was, "Well, it was your idea," and that line has been cut out, and I believe that was the censorship line. And there's some things that are besides that scene where censorship was an issue. There was Harpo leading dogs into the truck by putting up fake fire hydrants and leading them into the truck, and that was something that the Hayes office sort of frowned upon in, I think it was 1937 when this was re-released.
And that's another one of the oddities, isn't it? And the majority of the not the damaged bits, but the literally missing parts, all seem to revolve around Harpo. Yeah. So there was some speculation at one point that they'd actually been clipped for a kind of a like a tribute reel or something. I think that's in Joe Adamson's book, isn't it? Possibly. He's not here, is he? So it doesn't matter, does it?
No.
But yeah, so you're looking at a mixture of things that have been cut out seemingly for no reason. I think a very, very small amount that might have been cut out for censorship, and then just a lot of damage, and nobody can find any better materials. There is always talk about uncut prints being out there. There was one certainly that did the rounds in Britain in the 1950s.
Yeah.
Harpo apparently had one of his own, which was lent out in the 1970s and never returned.
Yeah.
There's just a possibility that someone is hoarding it, that
And
somebody is sitting on it.
And perhaps when the film goes in the public domain in a few years,
It will
show
go
up.
public domain
Yeah.
in 2 years, I think, and we might see it. It's
Yeah.
just a tiny possibility we
Yeah,
might
that guy
see
probably
it.
has humor risk too in his basement.
Yes. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Josh. I'm from Brooklyn. If you'll indulge me, I just want to say hello to my brothers Jeremy and Matthew, loyal listeners in California. They can't be here today.
Hey, guys.
Thank you for what you do. Following on the last question, Bob, you were talking earlier about the quality of the film, and I wanted to know your opinion about AI and its ability to fix these issues, and whether you think it's a good idea. Obviously, Turner did a lot of.
If you only knew what you were asking. Have you got an hour?
No. Well, obviously, it's a technology that's still in its infancy, and what it will be able to do in 10, 20 years is going to be remarkable. Right now, perhaps some minor fixes, like for the scene we're talking about in Horse Feathers, maybe AI could be used to replace some missing frames and some little bits, here and there. And if we had the complete script and we knew what was actually said, maybe we could use some AI to recreate the voices and maybe flesh that scene out. But I'm just talking about little bits where we know what was there and recreating them as opposed to creating anything new. I think that's the best possible use of AI at this point in film restoration.
Yeah, I agree with that. AI as a generative tool seems objectionable, but as a tool to help in restorations and in research, it's not that different from the tools we've been using already to do those things. It's just a little more sophisticated. And speaking of lost old films, I'm sure many of you are aware a Georges Méliès film was recently discovered that had been lost, like all of his films, fascinating. And it happens to be about a robot that develops intelligence and destroys its creator. So good timing that they just found that, huh? Thank you for your question, Josh.
I'd like to see it used to damage films that are actually intact.
Good idea.
A very untapped bit of potential.
Boy, that's a good idea. We could all make a list of films we'd like to see more damage done to, couldn't we?
Hey, I'm Joe from Brooklyn. I just have a really basic question. I've seen this movie so many times, and I keep meaning to Google it, but now I will ask you, what is a college widow?
You want to take that?
Yeah, that's all yours.
You literally wrote the book on this.
You literally wrote the book on this, yes.
Well, I never knew that either. It was always when I was growing up, when I was a kid. It was one of the one of the most mysterious things, because they don't say it's not like her nickname. It's just something that she's the college widow, as if every college has one. And what it is basically she's a love 'em and leave 'em person. She's that's what it means by widow. She has loads and loads of boyfriends who she discards, basically, and it's kind of sexual partners, and I don't want to offend anybody, but
Well, mostly college students?
college students, and it was a thing. It was a cultural thing. There was a play called The College Widow, which was made into a movie. Which I think was that the one that has like a horse feathers-y type of plot involving a football match and a boat on the lake and
seemingly Horse Feathers is partly a parody of that play, which I think was by George Ade.
Oh, wow. Thanks.
So they don't have the college widows anymore, right?
No, you'd be crazy to fool around with her. Thank you to all those who asked questions. Sorry we weren't able to answer any of them. And now we're going to bring up a special guest. I feel he's already been introduced. So why don't we just say his name along with his current credit. Our friend is now a Broadway songwriter and librettist. We couldn't be happier about this, and I don't think anyone is happier than our friend, Mr. Cinco Paul.
Am I supposed to stand?
Hold on. Yeah, well,
Is Cinco supposed to stand? I think it would be respectful if you would stand. Yeah. We just want to say what I was just talking about. Schmigadoon, the television series which had 2 seasons on Apple TV and is, in my opinion, one of the top highlights of the entire streaming television era, is now a Broadway musical, currently in previews, opening April 20th at the Nederlander Theater. Schmigadoon. Go see it.
Yeah.
So Cinco,
Yes, Noah.
how does it feel?
It's a dream come true, but it is, since we're talking about the Marx Brothers were on Broadway, and they ruled Broadway, and they were like a massive, massive success there. So that, even though, Schmigadoon comes from my love of musicals, it's also part of the excitement is that I'm there where the Marx Brothers were as well. So that's pretty cool. It's a dream come true. I can't even believe it. It still feels kind of surreal, but it's very exciting. Go see Schmigadoon
Go see Schmigadoon.
at the Nederlander.
So we've had lots of guests on our podcast, and we bring people on and we get them to talk about various aspects of the Marx Brothers and their careers. We had you on, and we made you watch Skidoo. So
You did.
I just wanted to say sorry for that.
Yeah. Scott Alexander got to do Horse Feathers, I think.
Yeah.
And I got to do Skidoo. So, yeah.
Yeah. However, that's one of my favorite episodes, the Skidoo episode.
It was fun. We had fun.
In no small part because of Cinco's participation in it. If you have not heard our Skidoo episode, it's a wild ride. I'm not kidding. It's funnier than the film.
Low bar. That's a low bar.
Yeah, let's clarify. You don't have to have watched the film to
Yeah.
listen to the episode.
No, you don't.
You'd be better off if you didn't.
Yeah.
So.
Would I be correct in telling our audience that episode of our podcast is the only place anyone can hear the story of how you saw Timothy Leary urinate off a balcony?
Yes. That's the only place. It was when I was I was an intern, just starting in Hollywood and trying to make my mark, and I was invited to a Hollywood party because I was one of the interns at the company, and there were all these celebrities there, Barbara Streisand and I don't know, Jeff Goldblum. Anyway, but the only person I really talked to for any length was Timothy Leary. And in the middle of our conversation, he just unzipped and urinated off the balcony. There you go. Tune in, turn on, and pee out. I don't know.
And was it sort of rainbow colored?
It was dark. I was averting my eyes, so I didn't notice.
And the first episode of the podcast that you joined us for, Cinco, was very early. I think it might have been our 6th episode.
Wow.
Which was all about the Marx Brothers and music. Which was an appropriate subject to have you on for. Tell us about the Marx Brothers and what their music in particular has meant to you and if it's influenced you.
Yeah, I would say that I grew up playing piano from the time I was 5, and as soon as I discovered the Marx Brothers, I tried really hard to play like Chico. I learned all, I tried to learn many of the songs by ear. I wrote my fingers are not as tough as his, because I just would rip them up trying to, glide down the keys. But that was a big influence, and I always was trying to learn to play like Chico. And then I will say in Schmigadoon, there is a moment when the mayor introduces himself that is very reminiscent of the Marx Brothers style, like that sort of speaking style, from the songs that are in Animal Crackers, for instance, or the captain is a very moral man, and it's that sort of a pompous person. There's a fanfare, and then the mayor comes out, and that's very much a little homage to that, because Animal Crackers was a Broadway musical, so it's fair game, I think. Yeah,
No question.
Well, we're going to have you sing a final song up here in a couple minutes. And before we do that, we just wanted to, you could set up over there.
Okay.
And
it's a complicated setup.
Okay. And we're just going to take a minute and thank everyone here for coming. This was a dream of ours for many years, and we're so glad that it actually came to fruition. Thanks to everyone who made the effort to come out here, and thanks to Craig for making this happen.
And to Matthew for making the crossing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have a special announcement that we wanted to make that we were holding off for this particular episode. As you know, the company out of England, what's it called? iPop 3D has they put out a version of the Coconuts 3D last year when it became public domain, and a Animal Crackers 3D release will be coming later this year, and we've been asked to do the commentary track for it, which will be our first ever commentary track, and we're going to record it next month, and so hopefully
For the longest time, people have said to us, why don't you do DVD commentary tracks? Well, now you can find out why.
And we'll be doing it in 3D.
Yeah, we'll do it in 3D. Yeah.
Okay. So you want to continue with the thank?
Yeah. Continue with our thanks.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's continue with our thanks. The people we want to thank, we've thanked him repeatedly, but you can't thank Craig Shemin enough. I feel. Thanks again to Craig Shemin, as well as the Museum of the Moving Images, Michael Koreski and R.J. LaRussa. We really appreciate it. Your hospitality for this event.
Yeah, and after Cinco does our final song, just hang around. There's one more little piece of business we have to do after the song. So,
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Cinco Paul.
Everyone says I love you. The cop on the corner and the burglar too. The preacher in the pulpit and the man in the pew says I love you. Oops. Everyone, no matter who. The folks over 80 and the kid of 2. The captain and the sailor and the rest of the crew says I love you. There are only 8 little letters in this phrase you'll find, but they mean a lot more than all the other words combined. Conium and diamond too, and even Cassell before the bum withdrew. They had me on the podcast and made me watch Skidoo. But Mark Brothers Council podcast, I love you.
now I want to call Heidi Cassell to the stage.
Where should I go?
You could go. Yeah. Okay. Right. We ready here?
We can share.
Are we ready here?
Testing. All right.
Right.
All right. The Marx Brothers Council podcast is produced by Bob Cassell. Matthew Conium's books, including The Annotated Marx Brothers, The Annotated Abbott and Costello, and That's Me, Groucho, are published by McFarland. Noah Diamond's book, Give Me a Thrill, The Story of Alsatia is published by Bear Manor Media. To leave a comment and for more info about this and all episodes, visit us at marxbrotherscouncilpodcast.com. For the latest Marx Brothers and podcast news, look for us on Blue Sky and Twitter. And join the fun. We're the largest and most vibrant Marx community online, a club that will have someone like you as a member. The Marx Brothers Council Facebook group. That's it for now. Swordfish.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll be outside.
We'll see you outside, folks.